Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Peteman Reviews. Today we are reviewing the Generation 1 version of Shockwave. As you can see, Shockwave is in his gun mode, or space gun mode. Very easily held. Looks fantastic, doesn't it? It's a very big gun. Not like Megatron, which was a smallish gun. And it just looks great from all angles for it. If you have a look through the firing lens as well, you can see pretty much an idea of where you're going to shoot. It just lines that up with the edge of the gun there. Now it's called a space cannon because the idea is that Shockwave never actually changed into an Earth form, which meant they could keep it as a futuristic thing. Thing being the technical term for a space cannon. It actually comes with a battery pack that you can put in here, just a regular battery that you kindly put in a fire alarm or smoke alarm, and when you then press the conveniently located trigger, it's quite a nice sound, and as you can see, fires as well. Now this does work in robot mode, but the trigger is somewhat more awkwardly placed. We'll discuss that when we're transforming. Turn him off, there's a little button here, you just turn it off. There we are, now the trigger. Also makes noise, doesn't turn him off at all. Kind of makes a noise like a siren. Don't like that one, I prefer that one. Much more like a gun. Okay, so Shockwave was probably one of the very first Transformer toys released. I'm going to stand it, actually I'm just going to rest it like that. Probably one of the first Transformer toys released, albeit not necessarily as a Transformer. There are a lot of knockoff copies out there. When I say knockoff, they actually predate Transformers in many respects, so they're not really knockoffs. Obviously, you do now get knockoffs. This one, I'm not sure if it's a knockoff or a genuine one or not. To be honest, I suspect it's probably a knockoff, but I'm not 100% sure. It's a brilliant toy. It's also interesting with Shockwave is that in the cartoon series, Shockwave was a very minor character, indeed hardly in it at all. In the comics, he was a massive character and shown as a rival to Megatron. Indeed, in the early comics, Shockwave was the Decepticon leader. Megatron was hardly in it. So there's a big continuity difference there. What's interesting with both is that the way they transform and the way they depict Shockwave is identical to the toy, both to the transformation and to the way he looks, which makes the toy probably one of the best ones out there, particularly from the early releases. Just to show he wasn't that widely available in the UK, at least not as Shockwave. He was often known as something else. I want to say Radio Man or Radio Shack, I'm not entirely sure. No, not Radio Shack. I want to say Radio Man or something, but anyway. Either way, he wasn't that available in the UK. Okay, so to transform him, you flip down the little viewpoint there. This then flips off. It's kind of a fake part. It looks like it should be Shockwave's head. Indeed, in the comics, it's often shown that the voice comes out here, but it's not. And if you watch the transformation on the cartoon series, this is how Shockwave transforms again. This bit goes flying off into the distance. Where it goes, who knows? We're just going to pop it there. Maybe it joins with Prime's trailer at some point. Okay, so we'll start off with his arms. They just part like that, and then they come down. The head is contained within that part. I'm going to flip this back up here. It kind of becomes a little bit kibble backpack at the rear. The legs flip down like that. You then want to waggle them apart so that they fit into here. They have a tendency to unwaggle quite a lot and go back in, which makes them a bit unstable. They then extend like so and like so, and then the feet rotate around like that. It's all a bit loose, which is why he has a tendency to move. The head, if it's not popped up already, you just pop it up, and then the ears stick up like that. You've then got Shockwave, like so. Now the hand doesn't really do anything. It does have what could be a move to hold a gun, but as it doesn't come with the gun, the hand doesn't do anything at all. You see what I mean about him? It's not unstable, it's because this part keeps moving. That's what gives him the appearance of being unstable. But there we are. He's moved that up. He's pretty tall and he looks great. Manoeuvrability wise, well, his head doesn't really move much. It can move left to right, and I guess you can kind of raise it up and down a bit like that, but it looks like his head bopping. But that's about it. His arms are pretty good. They have full move. It's a shame that all the detailing now is on the outside, and on the outside there you've got those spikes. You kind of would like it if you had this detailing on the outside, but there's no way of doing that, unfortunately. Obviously you've got the rubber connection to the arm in the originals. So if you got one dating back to 1984 or earlier, this is often decayed. Same with this arm as well. So it's just a shame that I suppose you could do that. Bit difficult with the rubber. Yeah, you kind of can. So you can now have, when I say kind of difficult, because it's a bit twisted around, but you can just about rotate it, so you've got the nice detail on the outside. The rubber bit now doesn't look quite as good, but to be honest, I think I'd rather have it like that. Okay, so ignore what I just said earlier. Legs, it comes with a knee, which again is fairly unusual in the earlier Transformers. Because of his arms, the way he moves, he's not the easiest to pose in that position. You kind of have to move this foot in as well, his foot in, but it's still, he's very unbalanced. So he has a knee. You can, if you can get him posed into place, it looks good. Otherwise, it's not the end of the world. Otherwise, he looks great. And of course, because of the way his legs work, he's actually got a waist that can go up and down. Okay, how he fires in the other mode. We'll just turn the lights off here so you can see it hopefully lit up a bit. The trigger's here now. Yeah, looks very unfortunate, doesn't it? But if we press it, it makes the gun work, and that's where the light comes out in the other mode. But that just looks, ignore where your finger ends up going. It looks great, doesn't it? Put the light back now. It's a great looking toy. He's a little bit lopsided because of, this is perhaps my biggest criticism, is the leg mechanism is not quite right. It's very, very loose, so it's very easy to come apart a bit. Otherwise, he looks absolutely great. Size-wise, he compares very, very well with modern-day Transformers, just as Masterpiece Optimus Prime and Masterpiece Bumblebee. So much so, I would go so far as to say the original version of Shockwave is pretty much near perfect. Obviously you can get a Masterpiece Edition, which I'm sure sorts out some of the problems with triggers, or maybe some of the problems with the legs. But honestly, I don't think you need it. I think it looks absolutely great as it is. If you've got the money to spend on Masterpiece Shockwave, or even the fan versions such as Quakewave, by all means go ahead. They do look good, and obviously they'll sort out some of the problems, but could you save yourself some money and get the original, or the knockoff of the original. It looks great. It compares really well size compared to Masterpiece Optimus Prime and the others. It's got good articulation, looks good. I do like the light and sound. It's particularly good use of light and sound as well to make the gun fire both in robot and cannon mode. And Shockwave looks exactly like he does in the comics and the TV series. Perhaps the comics more than the TV series, but it's toy accurate obviously, but the cartoon and the comics was also toy accurate, which often wasn't the case. So there we are, that is Generation 1 Shockwave. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, click on some other videos, and I'll see you for the next review. And happy 2017 everybody. Thank you. Bye.